Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3.5 of the Roots of Life podcast. I am here live on this wonderful evening with my good friend and co-host, James Fitzgerald. Jimmy, how are you doing this evening?
I'm really great, actually. But I believe it's a little past evening at this point.
You're right. It's been a long evening and day, I guess. We both had a long day. What did you do today, Jimmy?
I drove all the way from Kamloops to Vancouver. Not a very long way, but long enough.
It still occupies a good part of your day.
A good 4 hours or so, yeah.
Yeah, solid. I myself decided to utilize the good weather we had here in Vancouver and go do some snowboarding up in the mountains. We had a wonderful powder day, so if you're a snowboarder or a skier, there was some great snow. It was clear skies. There was lots of sun, so that was a wonderful experience. I had a great day. I got to spend it with my father as well, who is a little bit slower on the mountains these days, I have to say. He doesn't move as fast as when I remember being a child and him teaching me to ski, and he just doesn't quite move the same, so I ended up having to spend a lot of time waiting for him. But overall, it was still a fantastic day.
That sounds like a good day.
Yeah, it was. Jimmy, if the listeners out there want to find us or contact us through the internet or our social media handles, how might they do that?
We have a few places they can find us. We have rootsoflifepodcast at gmail.com. You can send us questions, comments, hate mail. We love it all. We have a Twitter handle at rootsoflifepod. I don't know what we're going to tweet yet. I haven't done anything.
I've shot out a couple things there.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, so I mean, you might be wise to keep an eye on it there. And
I do get all the notifications on my phone.
Yeah,
I just haven't looked to see what we've tweeted.
I'm sure you'll find it soon.
Oh yeah, I'll check later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We also have our Patreon page. Currently, I haven't published it, so I don't have a URL for you, but you can find it searching on Patreon. You'll find it just search Roots of Life Podcast. It's there. Lots of fun rewards, lots of goals we have for future podcasts. We have quite a few episodes planned out already. Today's, however, was not entirely planned.
It wasn't planned, but it's a very special one. I'm particularly quite excited. I don't know if anybody who has listened to any of the previous podcasts that we've done up to this point, but if you want to take the time to go back and listen to a previous one, you notice a particular change and difference in the audio. So we've been doing our recordings online for the past little while. It's been a period in growth for the podcast itself and what we've been doing. And recently, as Jimmy said, he drove down 3-4 hours to Vancouver to visit me. So we got to spend the day together, and this is the first time we've seen each other since we started the podcast, right? So that was exciting.
Way before then, but
yeah, I mean, we haven't seen each other in a while, but obviously there was a reason that we chose to start doing this, because we have recent reviews, ideas, we like to talk, we're great friends, we get along, and on top of that, we decided to get some of the proper, even on top of the microphones we already had, we decided to get some other ones. We're not recording online, and this is the first time we are in the studio together. So I've got my little home studio. We got a couple of mics set up. Everything's ready. We went on a little adventure. We had a few drinks tonight. We had a good time. We went out for some food. If you're in Vancouver, Budgies, great little Mexican spot, vegetarian Mexican food, great burritos, burrito bowls, tacos, whatever you're into, whatever floats your boat. It's ready, it's good, it's fresh, it's bomb. Jimmy, I told you about Budgies.
He's told me about this before a couple times now. And as soon as I got here, he was like, "What are we gonna do for food?" And I was like, "That vegetarian place you told me about, we have to go because it sounded amazing, and it lived up to its name.
I upsold it.
You did. You upsold it beautifully, and it fit the bill.
And it fit the bill.
It was great.
It was a beautiful bill.
It was.
Right? Yeah, it was good. It was deadly. We got some pretty straightforward regular lettuce, rice, beans, salsa, guacamole. It's all of the things you would expect to be in a burrito.
Yeah.
But it was better than most burritos.
Better.
Yeah, it was just
I think the guacamole honestly did it.
Yeah, you think it was the guac?
I liked it. It was fresh guac. It was really good.
Yeah.
The burrito itself was just ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
So that was great.
That's always the best part.
A lot of food there.
It's so satisfying when you pay that decent price and then you see just how massive that burrito is.
I mean, they're still making a lot of money because what they put in it.
It's
not
beans.
expensive.
No.
It's rice and beans.
No, I go to.
It's a really good price.
And I buy those. They're not even like cooked beans. They're not in cans or anything. They're just totally dry. So you have to like soak them in water for about 24 hours. Is what the packages usually say. So I put them in the pot. Or maybe it's overnight. Maybe not 24 hours, but they sit there for a while. And I let them soak in all that water, and then I boil them, which I think you have to boil them for about 60 minutes, which is a long time to boil anything, on top of already letting them sit overnight. So with that, but it's like I cook one of these bags, which I think are probably like maybe $3 in the most, and then I have enough beans for like 4 days. I make like maybe the first night I'll make like a full stir fry with like vegetables and rice and like onion and garlic and spices, and it looks amazing. And that's like maybe 2 or 3 dishes. Like think of like a kind of like a decently full frying pan, and then I still got like 3/4 of a bowl of beans after that dish is already like stacked with beans. So it's like, I can only imagine when they're buying those beans probably wholesale, getting them for a super good price, and then flipping them, selling them to us fools because we don't want to make Mexican food. We just want to go to some bomb restaurant.
Like $8.
Yeah, and
not a bad idea though.
No, it's great.
I was like, all right, $8.
I didn't want to cook tonight. Did you want to cook tonight?
No, I wasn't going to.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to. If it came down to cooking, I would have cooked something for us.
I probably would have helped, but
I'm sure you would have, because you're a great guy like that. You would just do something like that.
I would have felt bad if you had to do it all. Oh, well, we got to cheers. The first cheers of the podcast.
The first cheers
of the DrunkCast.
Of the DrunkCast. We're calling this one a special one. We got together. We enjoyed our day, but we didn't think that we could end the 2 days we have together without recording a podcast after how excited we've been over the past few weeks, just doing this weekly and having that opportunity to talk to each other and just explore different ideas. So it's been fantastic. I grabbed a couple jerk face 9000s for this week's podcast.
They're from Parallel 49, bro.
Parallel 49, which if you are in the lower mainland or Vancouver Island of BC, Canada, you are familiar with this beer and this brewery.
And if you're not, you probably don't drink good beer.
No, you're probably drinking Budweiser or Molson. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. If you drink those, I still think you're a beautiful person. I didn't mean to be that guy.
Just so judgy over there.
I know. That was pretty close, but that's okay. It happens. I acknowledged it. We're going to move on from it. We're going to have a good time.
I forgive you.
And I appreciate you. So, Jimmy, how was your drive today? There's lots of snow coming up on the hills right now.
Yeah.
The weather's pretty interesting. What were the scenes like? Are the mountains beautiful? Are they dry?
My God.
Were they white yet? Or were they still getting to that point?
All I wanted to see today, before getting to Vancouver, was some beautiful white mountains to the point where you couldn't quite distinguish the trees from the mountain. And I did see that, but it was only at the tips of the top of the highest mountains a couple times. The rest of the time I could tell there was trees, but it still looked beautiful. It's December. It's getting to that time where I start to feel real sentimental about snow on trees and
Everybody
Christmas
does.
and stuff. It's a weird thing. I get it all the time, and I just need to go look at trees with snow.
Do you think it's it contributes or it has something to do with the idea that we have behind the commercialization of exactly
100%. I believe it's that.
If Christmas did not exist,
but I just love it.
If we were in a different culture where Christmas wasn't a holiday that we celebrated, do you think you would have any correlation or like happiness associated with snow or snow on mountains or snow
Personally,
on trees?
yes.
You think so?
I love going out and hiking, and especially when it's in the snow. I'm that guy who goes out and I just put my big jacket on and I'll go shake a tree that has snow on it just so I can get all the snow to fall on me and friends around. I love it. I love snow. I've always loved snow, and I love being in the snow, especially in the trees. We've spoken about it before. I believe it was the first podcast we did. That when I mentioned that I did love going out in the snow, into nature, going for walks, things like that.
Absolutely. We both do.
I really appreciate it when there's snow as well. It's just, it's kind of like another obstacle, but another beauty as well. It adds like a sparkle to everything because it glimmers a little. I don't know. I like it. Also, by the way, if you follow us on Patreon, and maybe if you're a subscriber, we may have a few videos to go along with a couple podcasts. We may or may not post them. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see what happens.
There's always the possibility.
Always.
So I want to take a step back, though.
Of course.
You think that... I'm going to ask this... I'm pretty sure I just asked you this question, but I'm going to ask you again. You think even if you grew up in a life without Christmas...
Yeah.
You would still have that same association with snow?
I'd have an appreciation for the snow. I would not have the same association.
We grew up in a place, especially here, where we get snow so far and few between. Mm-hmm. Even though we get that whole, it's Canada, it's Vancouver. I live by mountains. We snowboard. We play hockey.
Yeah.
But how often do you see snow in the city? I mean, maybe in Kamloops where you live now, you might see it a little more frequently.
I've had snow for like a few weeks now. The rest of Kamloops...
Winter's just starting, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I lived in Kamloops for a little while, surprisingly. Totally by chance that we're even referring to it, saying that we've both lived there at some point. But I lived there for a while, and it has that reputation of one of those cities that, like, in the winter... You get snow.
It gets snow. It always snows.
Yeah, and it's cold. Like
it was -12 when I left this morning.
And I think that's common.
Yeah.
That's not something that just happens once in a while.
No, the low for this week is -22.
Yeah. So whereas I'm an hour, well, not an hour, sorry. I'm about 4 hours away. Yeah. Depending on how fast you drive. I've made the drive in closer to 3, definitely.
I definitely would have if there wasn't snow on the road.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to Vancouver, whereas we don't get it very often.
Or even where we grew up on the island.
Yeah, on the island, right? You're lucky to see it for maybe a week out of the year.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you get one snowfall. Maybe it lasts, like, if you're on a good year, maybe 5 days. Mm-hmm. You know? And maybe you get 2 different falls of a couple days each, right? In Vancouver... lived here for 4 years, and I've seen snow in the city maybe twice. And it's one of those things, there's so many cars on the road that even when it snows, it's gone off the road so fast, you don't even experience the just the haggard driving. I guess that is city drivers who don't know how to experience snow, whereas unless you're from Ontario or you're smart about the way you drive in snow. There's a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of the Ontarians.
Ontarioites.
That's a good one.
I don't know how it works.
I don't know either.
With them.
But if you've ever met one in
Ontarians?
Vancouver, they will. Every single one of them will tell you how poor the Vancouver drivers are in the snow.
I think Vancouver drivers are just poor. In general.
I don't know, man. I feel like I've seen shitty drivers everywhere I've gone.
That's true, yeah. Of course.
Like, everywhere. So I think it's a different mentality when you end up driving the city because you're in this kind of rat race.
You drive a lot closer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't drive. There's a lot of people who, they commute every day and you just think of the little rat race. There's all these rats. They all hurtle into one little spot as fast as they can. They're pushing each other shoulder to shoulder just so they can squeeze in these trains and these buses. And it's all to get to work so they can work for a couple dollars a day. And it's complete chaos. And then you have people who drive who do the same thing, but they're in their own little space so they feel more comfortable. Right? Why do people feel more comfortable driving than they do taking transit? It's for the simple fact that you have your own space. In my opinion, I think that everybody likes to feel comfortable. They like to feel at home. And after working for an extended amount of time in a specific day, you get that time of day where would you rather sit on a bus shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of people after an 8-hour day, or would you rather sit in your car for an hour after your 8-hour day and sit there and listen to your own music?
I know. I really appreciated that part of the drive that I got to be alone, listen to my own music.
That alone time, right?
Yeah, I got to dance,
it makes a huge
sing,
difference.
all that stuff the whole way. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like when I'm done work, I wouldn't want to get on a bus and ride home. I'd rather drive in my car and listen to some pump up music so I can feel better about my day.
Yeah, you want to get home. You want to be amped to be home. You want to be energized. You want to have that energy to do whatever it is you're gonna do with your evening. Whether you're gonna cook dinner for your family, or you're gonna go out for a hike and get some exercise, or maybe you're just gonna force some creativity out of your brain. You're gonna make some badass shit. Whatever it is you're gonna do, right?
Exactly.
And you want to be excited for that. I always find that a weird part of my experiences when I was working a lot was I always made up these excuses as to why I didn't want to do things after work. And it would be I would go to work and then I would come home and I would be tired from working a long day. And so I would decide not to do something, whether it be play piano or maybe write a song or maybe even watch a movie. Maybe I was too tired to watch a movie and I just went to bed or whatever it could have been.
I'm gonna do a big shout out to the roommate, Josh.
The roommate.
He's
one hell
Josh.
of a roommate. I like to put it that way.
He's killing it. He's out there playing. He's been playing Rocket League for about 2 hours.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. You saw that stash that make you run.
He shaved it today or recently?
I feel like it was today.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, yeah.
I'd already started drinking when that happened, so...
I feel like I was drinking.
We had already started drinking beer.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it happened yesterday. But I don't think I saw him yesterday. I saw him late last night, but I can't remember if I saw him. I can't remember if he had shaved it already last night.
But anyways, he helped us with some equipment today.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to do the shout out for. He was great. Sorry, continue.
Josh is a good guy.
So, you were talking about his mustache. We didn't have to.
Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about the mustache. He's a great guy. I look forward.
We're talking about mine. It's fantastic. Just kidding.
If you have never seen a picture of Jimmy's mustache, it's pretty amazing.
It's all right at this point.
I don't know. I like it. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody really pull out. That's French, right? The kind of.
Well, I mean,
twist.
I don't know if it's French or anything. I just twist it and it does that. I like the curl.
Isn't there a certain culture where that gets done quite a bit? Is it French or Italian? I feel like it's some kind of Western European.
It looks like I think there's Spanish, Italian, French, that kind of stuff. All of that. I don't know. something around there. People curl their mustache. Like Dutch people do the big curls. I just don't have enough hair for that.
Right. No. How long would that take to grow?
The big one?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, not like
I have no idea.
I'm not saying like 12 inches long or nothing in circles. I'm talking like maybe like 3 inches, like smaller circles.
The one I've done right now.
How long did that take?
I'm pretty slow at growing hair, but it was 2 months before I trimmed it, and it's kind of trimmed right now, a little bit trimmed right now.
I wish I knew more because this is like about all I got.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, I could let this grow for a while.
For those audio listeners, it's just a small bit of chin hair.
Yes, it's. I basically
one side of his
like,
mouth to the other.
I basically look like your 12-year-old brother that has a couple stragglies hanging out there, and you were just wondering, why doesn't he shave that?
Okay, it's more like 16, not 12. You're a little bit aging at this point. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Is that a compliment? I'm not sure.
You do have the baby face.
I do. I always have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think out of all our friends growing up, I always had the baby face.
Definitely did.
And I always got recognized and picked out as that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always a given.
Taylor's got the baby face, so he can't do anything that's we're going to need adult-looking people for. Let's just leave him over there.
No, I went and when I was picking up these beer today for me and Jimmy this evening, I went into the beer store that the beer and wine down the road that I go into all the time, and there's this lady in there. She's quite nice. I've talked to her briefly a couple times over the past week or two. I've been drinking a little bit in the past week or two. So what? That's all right. Having a good time. Anyways, she asked me for my ID, and she said, pretty sure I've asked you for your ID multiple times, but I'm going to ask you again. And I said to her, you know what? I came to terms with the fact that I have a baby face a long time ago, and that I'm probably going to have one for the next 10 years. And I'm going to get ID'd all the time. She was like, that's a good attitude to have. And I felt really good, just the fact that she had acknowledged my attitude towards the situation. Because being a server and you being a bartender, I know we've both experienced the situations where maybe you ask for somebody for ID and they take it very offensively. And they think you're like criticizing or bashing them in some way. And really I'm like, man, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, I have to do this if you look under 25.
Yeah, and if you
it should be a compliment.
If you turn out to be some government official, or if you're under the age of 19, not just my employer, but I could get like a $10,000 fine. Is it more?
I think it's less.
Is
I think
it
it's
less?
like 5.
Is it?
It might be 5.
Still,
100?
I really
5,000. One of those.
You enjoying your beer and you making a big deal out of not wanting to show me your ID for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
For the risk of me getting even $500. Like,
that's a lot of money.
That's a fucking chunk of money for sure. I don't want that.
Most of my rent.
Exactly. You know, like, it's just inconvenient. And so why do you got to make a big deal out of it? I'm doing my job. It's the law. Really, it's a compliment.
You still get beer.
Yeah, you're still getting beer. As long as you're not trying to scam me. If you're being real and you are who you say you are and you're how old you say you are, hey, we're good to go, man. I'm going to give you beer. I'm going to get you drunk. We're going to have a good time. We're going to party. Your girl's going to be excited because you're drunk and she's drunk. Next thing you know, she's going home with you. You're getting freaky. You're having a good time. And you're like, man, I'm grateful that server let me have as many beers as I did with my girl, because now the night's going great. Everybody's partying, and you're ready to go on.
But that's if you have a good attitude. If you have a bad attitude, your girl says, oh, he's mean to servers. I probably shouldn't hang out with him anymore, and she just leaves you. So.
Well, that can happen too, but we don't want to talk about that.
I'm just telling people to be nice to servers.
It's true. It's true.
You gotta be nice.
We've
to
both
them.
been there.
Yeah.
Don't piss off your server. That's a mistake waiting to happen.
Spit in your food.
Yeah, they'll spit in your food. Trust me. If you think that just happened in the movie Waiting, you're mistaken. I've seen it happen. I've done it. And I will do it again.
I've never done it.
No, I
No.
can't say that with a straight face. Next thing you know, one of my old employees is listening to this, probably one that I have written down for a reference somewhere or something, and all of a sudden, I don't have a job. So, we ain't doing any more podcasts at that point.
Well, that might be the only thing we have going for us.
Jimmy, here's a question. Do you think there's anything at this point in your life that could interfere with you recording this podcast on a weekly basis?
I mean, I have to drive back on the Coca-Cola, so if I die, that would suck.
What are the chances of that happening?
There's a TV show out right now about the Coca-Cola.
Lost?
No, that's over. It's not out. But
Tell me about it.
I haven't watched it. My parents refuse to watch it, but because
Really?
of what they've told me about it.
I've always
They
heard
say-
like Lost was always one of those like critically acclaimed ones. that
I've
was,
never
like,
seen
amazing.
Lost. I didn't know we were talking about that. I thought we were talking about the Coca-Cola show.
Oh no, okay, yeah, no, we are.
Okay, continue.
I made the joke about Lost. I'm just saying, Lost was always like one of those critically acclaimed shows that
Yeah.
I've never watched.
I've never seen an
I have
episode.
no idea what it's about. But anyways,
I know there's a
So tell me about
bigger dude with big hair, and that's all I know.
You know more than me.
That's it. That's
Cool.
all I know.
Yeah. So tell me about the show. So there's
Apparently they call it the highway to hell or something like that.
Isn't that up in the Yukon?
I
Is it
think
like ice highways?
There's ice road truckers.
Okay.
That's up. There's like Yukon, Northwest Territories stuff, Alaska probably as well. But I think there's a new one, Highway to Hell or something, is about the Coca-Cola in the winter. Apparently it gets really bad. It was fantastic today. It was really sunny, really nice. There was a flipped over semi truck with lumber scattered everywhere, but I wasn't in that crash, so I was fine.
So here's the thing, though, is as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I lived in Kamloops for a while, probably for about a year, when I was 19, 20, and
Scaffolding?
no, I was
Before?
after. Yeah, after.
Really?
Yeah, I went scaffolding when I was still in Nanaimo. Yeah, because I was in Nanaimo for sure, definitely. And then I eventually moved to Kamloops and I was water blasting. So I was,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was
Forgot about
traveling
that.
throughout most of Western Canada, working within oil refineries and pulp mills. But what I was going to say was I lived up there and I didn't really have any bad experiences with the highway. I mean, like, sure, it's like snow passings, like like mountain passings. You're going between mountain to mountain, going through canyons and driving up the side of mountains.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit snow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you just
like,
gotta drive it.
Yeah,
Like,
you just gotta do it. And I don't
don't
think
drive like you normally drive. Drive like it's snowy.
I've had way worse experiences in other passings.
I mean, on your way to the mountain on
Yeah.
Vancouver Island was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was an interesting. I wasn't even on like a mountain passing. I was just
No.
on a highway, and that was an experience and a half. Just ended up losing control, going 90 clicks on the highway. Next thing you know, I'm in the Meridian, upside down, barrel roll, smashed into the snow. There goes that truck. Yeah, what an experience.
Good thing you're safe and sound. But
I always remember John. We the news team showed up.
Oh, right.
And, yeah, and they asked John what the experience was like, and if there's any chance that you are seeing the video for this, John made these hand motions that was like a circle, and they were like, what was the experience like? And John goes, it was like being in a washing machine, man. And he makes these like circular motions. And it was just it was really funny. I made it sound pretty stale there, I think, but that's okay. Washing machine anyways. It was funny. So yeah, I mean, I think you have to expect those things when you get into the mountains. It's really just the way of life. I'm surprised they made a show about it.
yeah,
Especially the Coca-Cola. Like, it doesn't, the highway
really,
doesn't seem
not
that bad.
bad.
Yeah.
It was covered in snow when I went, and you just go whatever posted speed limit they have and just stick to it.
I've driven it many times. I think
it's not that bad.
It's another highway. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if you're coming from California or something, it probably would be
probably
scary.
Looks scary.
Yeah, for sure. I've done it with cars that pretty much don't run.
There's something wrong with my car now at this point, actually.
Isn't your car only like a couple years old?
It was just a light came on. I'm gonna check it out tomorrow.
Like a check engine light?
Nah, different. I don't know what it is. Google it. We'll see.
Fair enough. Google's a good thing.
It'll be fine. I'll get it fixed before I leave.
Some kind of warranty on your car?
What's that?
Some kind of warranty on your car?
It's 2011, so no, not anymore.
Not really?
No.
Everything's out?
Or 5 years in. I think it was a 4-year warranty.
Probably expensive fix too, isn't it?
No, it's pretty cheap actually. It's
really?
Yeah, it's a pretty popular Ford model, small one. So
yeah,
pretty easy to fix.
All the cars these days, they're getting into these electronic and digital designs, right? So yeah, everything's computerized and it's weird. There's so many things. I mean, obviously it's just the way the world's going.
Yeah, I mean, the Teslas now drive themselves, which is strange as hell.
Actually.
Oh, yeah. Have you not seen that?
No.
The autopilot?
Tell me about it.
You can literally hit autopilot, and it'll take you where you want to go. And obviously...
And stay on the road.
Oh, yeah. It changes lanes for you, takes turns for you, like, all that shit.
Where is this? Like, where
Tesla cars. Like, the Tesla car.
No, not just like any car.
The newest ones? Yeah. That's what they do.
How much do these cars cost?
I have no idea. I'm not in the...
Are these like the basic Tesla models?
No, those ones aren't even out yet.
They're not out yet?
No. I think they come out this March or something.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
The autopilot's a thing. It's like the business class model.
The business class model?
Yeah, because the Tesla had an amazing business model. They started with the high class, like... sports car, so that everybody was like, wow, look what you can do with an electric car, because they knew if you just put out this little slow like economy car, people would be like, oh, whatever, it's just whatever it is. But they put out their sports car version first. Everybody was amazed with how the car performed, so then they put their business class, like beautiful sleek Tesla, and now they have the newest one, which is their economy class, like basically like a Toyota Corolla, but electric, completely.
And this thing drives itself.
I'm not sure if that one will, but I know the ones that are out right now, they do drive themselves. There's been a few reported crashes.
I'm not surprised.
But
when do you think they get those
malfunctions?
When do you think they get that technology right?
Oh, give them like a couple of years, it'll be on point.
You think they're at that point?
They've already got it, so it can drive itself. There's been like a few crashes
but this happens
when
all the
people
time.
fall asleep at the wheel. Like, you shouldn't be sleeping anyways. It's in beta testing, basically, at this point.
At what point do you think that these cars drive themselves without somebody even in the seat? Like
so a cab shows up, with nobody there, takes you wherever you want to go.
The front seat, the only front seat is in the passenger seat.
I don't know if they'll even do that. I think they'd put a couple seats in the front. There might not be a steering wheel and pedals or anything.
Reasons.
Just so that you have that extra passenger space.
But okay, so
like with no steering wheel, nothing.
Wheel, like no control.
I say 5 years. 5 years and it happens.
So you think they're pretty close? Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though,
thought, man.
The thing is, though, I think it might take longer because what needs to happen before that would probably be the electric roads, like the electric highways, those solar paneled, like they charge the car as it drives. They're a really cool idea. I don't know if there's anybody that's actually put them out yet.
I'm not sure if they're in development or not. Mm-hmm. I did read, though. I don't know the source. I don't know if it's credible.
I feel like it's time for another drink real quick here.
Sure. Cheers.
It is the DrunkCast. So
to the DrunkCast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Roots of Life podcast, episode 3.5. Taylor Jean and James Fitzgerald's first time in the studio recording the podcast live together. We are excited to be here with you. If you decide to support us on patreon.com/rootsoflifepodcast, we would appreciate it, and we would be happy at that point to supply you with this extra episode of the podcast. And
so they won't be able to hear it before they hear this?
maybe, I don't know.
We'll make another announcement tomorrow.
Yeah,
That'll work.
we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's not the point. Anyways, we thank you. If you decide to support us, we would appreciate it. If not, that's totally okay. We still appreciate just the fact that you are listening to this at this moment. We were talking about Teslas.
Yes.
We got sidetracked.
Yes. I had to cheers.
Yes, and
Sorry.
I enjoyed that.
We were at the Electric Roads, I believe.
Yes, okay, so I remember reading that those panels are cheaper to put in roads than concrete.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I haven't read it.
I read it. I don't remember the source. I don't know how credible it is. Usually...
It's also the DrunkCast, so we'll see.
Yes, usually I'm checking when I read something like that. I usually don't really even like consider it if I don't know the source, if I don't know where it's coming from, if I don't know who's saying it. I would usually completely disregard it if it's not something that I believe in. So I feel there's my instinct is to tell me there's some kind of credibility to it, but I don't want anybody out there to take my word for it, say that I said it. You know, do some research for yourself. That's something you might be interested in. There's obviously big futuristic changes happening. Technology is changing. Cars are evolving. Mechanics are evolving. And we are all rapidly evolving as humans and as a species, which is quite exciting. So I look forward to seeing what happens. We'll see if in 5 years that the cars will be...
We'll have to do this on a special anniversary show. We'll post it up there, edit it in.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do
At that
episodes where they cater to specific events that happen, things that we're interested in, things that maybe people want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
So that would be a good one. Maybe hypothetically, we make a civilization on Mars.
Oh.
And people want to hear us talk about it.
I'm
Give us
pretty
our
sure
opinions
that's
on it.
actually in the works.
I know, and
Yeah.
that's why I kind of was trying to process an idea there in my head, something that sounded kind of plausible, but wasn't exactly already here as well.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trying to think there, and that was what I landed on. Obviously, when something of that kind of event or caliber happens, that's something for us to talk about, and we can create, even if they're short episodes, 20, 30 minutes, maybe let us know what you think, but that would be an option.
That'd be cool.
Create episodes, little short episodes about recent events or whatever it is that's happening in the world.
Yeah. That'd be
If you're down,
that'd be great.
yeah, I think
I mean,
it'd be
we
a lot
could
of
even
fun.
talk about alternate possibilities like sustainable living under the ocean or something.
That'd be crazy.
Right? A little
I don't even
bubble.
know how. I don't
little
even know
bubble
what
village.
I don't even know where I stand on that.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's some next level stuff.
I mean, it's been an idea forever, but I don't know if it's
I'm not a
even
biologist.
plausible.
I don't feel like I know coral
I
reefs
have
well enough.
no idea.
And
I
the
did read a
way-
thing on coral reefs the other day though.
what was that?
This year, 2016, apparently the Great Barrier Reef in Australia has bleached more than it ever has, which happens when I think it gets too much sun or too hot, something like that. It bleaches itself and it basically starts to die off. And this happens every year. Certain amounts do this and then they come back. But this year has set the record for the amount of the coral that has been bleached, which
Really?
means it's dying off. It
Is
usually,
that
like comes
our
back
doing?
kind of thing. Well, I mean,
Is it like a global warming type thing?
it could be a global warming thing. I'm not even gonna start on that. Where like how much
Yeah.
SARS, how much it's changing,
I don't think
because I don't know.
I don't have the specific brain capacity to push myself down that lane right now. I don't think.
I agree with you. That's a lot of thinking where it's
And that's the thing is, I don't like speaking on things that I don't necessarily know a lot
Exactly.
about, right?
I
Like,
agree.
I don't want to push a bunch of bullshit out, and I don't want to tell everybody a bunch of stuff thinking that it's all makes sense or that I know exactly what it is if I don't know, if I'm not 100% on a fact. As you've already noticed throughout the course of this podcast, I will tell you that right away. If I don't know the facts,
just speculation.
yeah, it's ideas.
I read a thing on Facebook.
It's discussion, you know, like, I don't know if this is credible, but this is something I read, and it sounds something that's plausible, you know. It's something that is out there, and there's a very good chance it's real, so we'll talk about it. We'll have a discussion. If I'm sure that someone's going to call me an idiot, it's bound to happen sooner or later.
Well, it's definitely... I invited hate mail when I started this.
You're right, you did. I didn't even consider that, so...
I mean, I don't even mind. I like it.
No.
I want to see you get creative with it, though. Don't be
generic.
boring and generic.
Don't call me a dick.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because I know I'm a dick. I got a dick.
Exactly.
Right?
Don't use any of those words that, like, everybody uses and nobody likes. Like, whatever. We don't care. We're going to know you heard it one time and you're like, oh, it sounds bad. I'm going to send it to them. Whatever. Be creative.
What is the new generation? Is it Generation Z?
I don't know, man. I just call them millennials.
Millennial. I think that's what they are.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is. I think we were something else.
We're
not millennials.
We're Y generation.
Are we Y generation?
Yeah, we're not millennials. X is before us, like our parents and stuff.
Right.
And then before them it's like baby boomers or whatever. I don't know.
That's going way back. It's like World War type era type shit.
Yeah, that's like the old people.
Yeah.
That was like the baby boomers spanned a long time, like a couple wars. I think. Well, second war mostly.
I think it was almost a 40-year span.
Yeah, it was a long one.
I think it was. I
it was
could
just
be
like
wrong.
a lot of growth at that point.
I feel like that goes everywhere from like somewhere like close to like World War II era to all the way up to like the Cold War era.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like like 40s to about the 80s. I could be wrong. I'm sure if you ask like politicians or people who lived through those eras,
my parents were born in like the 60s.
Right.
And I'd say they're like probably X generation.
Okay.
So like baby boomers were they weren't born until then, right? Like when they're born is when you'd call like that's what.
What was the baby boomers generation?
That was like right after the war, that kind of stuff, when like everything just went like skyrocketed with like jobs and all those things. I think that's what happened. There was a depression at some point.
It happened. It was because of a direct cause.
History.
I know, me too.
It's
it was a direct
awful.
cause of the war, wasn't it? Didn't have something to do with like you said, like the war happened, people died, and then what was it like? People came home and
there was like the baby boomers was like everybody was like fuck yeah we won let's fuck. And then, like babies boomed.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
But I was. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is like everybody came home, they all got frisky, and we're just kind of like boom, like, let's get it rocking.
Yeah.
And they just like kind of popped it off.
I like the way you put it. I just swore, but you just.
I was being gentle.
Poetic.
But I mean, like
poetic even.
Trust me, I was on your side.
Thank you.
Because people gotta fuck. It's interesting how people don't like to talk about sex.
It is.
There's a huge like negative stigma around it.
Yeah.
You know, like how many like I would love to know the fact of whoever's listening to this, say like if there's 1,000 people who listen to this, how many of 1,000 people, what's the percentage of 1,000 people listening to this podcast that watch porn at least once a week?
I don't even know if I watch porn once a week.
Once a month.
Oh, definitely once a month.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's way more common than people think. Or like that people like to admit.
Sexuality is a weird thing.
It's frowned upon.
Like women's sexuality is especially strange. They like sell it, but women aren't allowed to express it on their own.
It's very true. Because she's a hoe.
Yeah, if she does it on her own, it's wrong. But if we get money for it, it's okay.
That girl can't take a picture in her underwear.
But hey, if she stands on stage with it,
and
okay.
She's modeling it,
yeah,
she can
on
wear
a
all
pole
the
or
underwear
something,
she wants.
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. Or if we can take pictures of it and we can sell the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a little wrong, but
yeah. I mean, obviously, the exploitation of big businesses. It's always been that way, and it always will be. I think that's businesses exploiting people.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's always gonna happen because you're always gonna have that girl or that man. Just even like specifying the gender, people are gonna freak out. Like,
I know.
Social
it's already
justice
gonna
warriors,
happen.
It's brutal. Anyways,
The
whether it be a girl and she be naked, or if it's a big buff football player, it's the exact same idea that they're being exploited because companies can make money off them. Mm-hmm. And these are people who are addicted to whatever it may be. Like this football player is addicted to money, or and he just like
steroids.
Yeah, and he just literally has to like do something to feed that, right? Or these like there's always a reason. I don't want to get too into it because I feel like it's some touchy territory. Yeah. It's sad. Mm-hmm. But it's big businesses always exploiting the everyday person. I hope not to see things go that way. We got to make some changes. That's just human nature. But as long as we all keep our heads on straight and be supportive of each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree.
Yeah. Smile, everyone. It's not hard to make your neighbor smile.
What are we at right now?
We are at about 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah, so we usually aim to do about an hour. Because an hour is, I think, is
optimal listening time. Technically, about 45 to 48 minutes is optimal listening time for attention span.
Is it?
Technically, where classes should be at is about.
I didn't know that.
45 minutes.
Is that why we do this?
What's that?
Is that why we do an hour?
No, not really. We just chose an hour, kind of.
But you knew
arbitrarily. I hadn't thought of it until exactly now, but the reason is because during my entire degree, I was pretty drunk, so I remember when I'm drunk.
Right. So you're making that connection.
Yes. I think it's about 45 to 48 minutes is the optimal time for attention span, where people can pay attention a lot easier. It's around that time when somebody loses attention over like a single stimulus.
I couldn't imagine listening to a professor talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's rough.
That would be excessive.
Tough. It's a lot, especially when they talk like this. They only have one tone, and you fall asleep because they do not change their voice.
Okay, you gotta stop. I don't think I can handle you talking like that at all.
How about this? Do you like when I speak like a robot?
Are you trying to be Stephen Hawking?
I can do Stephen Hawking sometimes, but not always. It depends on the way I use my voice.
Wow, you're really good at that.
Thank you.
I give you a round of applause.
Thank you very much.
For your efforts.
Thank you. I will stop doing this now.
Yeah, it's about time.
I thought so.
Yeah. I think for this evening.
Yes.
It's been a long night.
Yes, it has.
Is,
what are we at right now for time?
Yeah, we're at about 50 minutes. It's about 10 after 3.
Okay, that's yeah.
So I mean, if you were listening to this in Vancouver, in New York, you'd be listening. We would be recording this about 6 in the morning.
For them, yeah.
So whether you're super tired from not sleeping, or you're super tired from
Being awake until 3:10 a.m.
Yeah. You know, it's just, it's a lot. It's hard to handle.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be okay if we cut it a few minutes short tonight.
I mean, it is the DrunkCast. We might
It
as
is
well.
the DrunkCast. I think it was a successful DrunkCast.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Lots of random things that happened, but
I think everybody will enjoy it.
I feel like we should do another one of these.
We should.
One day.
I feel like we should just record us talking all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Because it'll get better.
Yeah.
And it'll, like, the conversation's interesting.
That interesting to me, at least.
I like it.
Yeah, I have a great time.
You know, I'm having fun creating it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
As long as you like to create and you like to do those things and feed that side of your life, then you will enjoy these podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, Jimmy, I have one question for you.
Okay, go for it.
If you were listening to this podcast and you were thinking, wow, these guys are fucking cool. I like these cats. I want to find out more about these guys, but I don't know where to do that. What would you say to yourself if you asked yourself, where would I go to find out more about us?
Well, I would tell myself that I can email myself.
I realized I made that.
The question's a bit convoluted, but the content's the same. You email me or Taylor. We both have the login information for.
We have access.
We have access.
Full access, like full on
Can
frontal
change everything, all of
She's
it,
beautiful.
whatever it is.
Access.
The video is cut out at this point, but whatever, you can't see it, so it's good. rootsoflifepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us your questions, your comments, your hate mail, whatever it is, but be creative.
We like love too.
We do love love. It's great. You can also connect with us on Twitter @rootsoflifepod. No cast, just pod.
No cast. We don't want to cast.
We're just podding. We are not casting it out.
We are the cast.
We're the
We
cast
are the
to
cast.
fix your broken wings, whatever it is. And also on Patreon, just in the search bar, search for Roots of Life Podcast, and you'll be able to find us there. And we have a bit of extra content there. Maybe some videos, maybe some extra podcasts. If you're listening to this one, you probably already know.
It's true. We thank you, everybody, for supporting us, because this is something we are very excited about. This is something we get excited to do every week, and we value your attention. There's so many things that you can do on any given day, whether you're working for 8 hours a day, or you're taking care of your children, or maybe you're taking a day for yourself.
Love those kids, people.
And the children of the future, they're the next generation. So you have to value them. Value them a lot. The future's coming. Be ready. Be prepared.
It'll have self-driving cars and
Tesla.
solar roads.
Motherfucker's badass. Jimmy, thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me over, man.
Absolutely. I'm happy to have you anytime. I hope you know that. We are brothers, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Roots of Life podcast. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening.
This was episode 3.5, the first DrunkCast.
And episode 4 will be coming your way soon. Thank you for listening. Good night.